I say being with family is probably one of those triggering things for people, especially if the trauma happened within the family of origin. The holidays are reminders of really maybe unhealthy home environments that they had to just survive. There maybe was violence between parents, or alcoholism, or sexual abuse, or just being around parents who are really critical. And I say just being around parents who are really critical, let me make it very clear that that chronic invalidation can be just as damaging, if not more, than event trauma. If you know that going to Aunt Mary's house is really triggering for you for one reason or another, yet you feel like you really need to go, you set a time limit on it, and you set the boundary. Like, okay, lunch is at 1, I'll be there from 12 to 2. If we know that there's gonna be situations that are triggering, you do not wanna shoot from the hip and see how it goes. We wanna have a plan. From a DBT perspective, we call it a cope ahead. And essentially we think about, what's the worst possible thing that could happen and how are you gonna cope with it? It's not just having one skill, it's having a number of skills so that you can effectively navigate this period of time. And after, how are you going to validate and support yourself when you've left this experience? It might be calling a friend. It might be calling, having a session with your therapist scheduled after. And I think those are the most helpful tips, is to recognize what your vulnerabilities are. Have a plan and have people around you who can support you. And don't be afraid to set boundaries.